Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to another F1 2020 My Team video. It is time for race number 10 of the 2020 Formula 1 season. We are in France, and we are coming off of the greatest and most unexpected race in our Team Cookie Monster history. Of course, we were the race winners last time out in Canada. That still feels just straight up bizarre to say. So we are in France. Like I mentioned in the previous video, we have upped the difficulty to 102, the AI driver level to 102. It's out of 110, so I mean, you know, we're getting kind of close to 110, but we are still very far away from moving that AI difficulty up all the way. I don't see any day that I ever move it to 110, but slowly but surely we are getting better at this game. That is good news. Maybe one day I'll start like manually shifting and stuff like that. I think that would be fun, but you know, it's definitely a big learning curve to switch from auto to manual shifting and some stuff like that. Taking traction control from medium to off. But for now, you know, we're going to continue taking baby steps. In the meantime, we're going to focus on, you know, mainly developing our car. As you guys see the development wars, the way it's going on right now. And you guys can see the weather for qualifying here in France. It is raining. I'm scared that if we have to put on wets, we're going to qualify last like we did in Spain, or 21st, whatever it was. Thankfully, it's only the intermediates. With the intermediates compared to the wets, I feel way more confident in our pace with the intermediate tires compared to the AI. And so far, it's somewhat showing as we round the first couple of corners. We are currently slotted in P5. So I think the rain might actually help us in qualifying. It's going to help us get a better qualifying position than we would have if it were a dry session. So we momentarily snuck into provisional pole there. Now we drop down to P6, but still, after the first sector, we are a tenth and a half off the pace of the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. So yeah, we definitely still have some pace despite moving the difficulty up, sitting in P6 right now. So that means we are doing better than best of the rest territory. We're beating one of the top teams as we continue a nice and smooth lap, trying to get the acceleration as soon as we possibly can, which is not easy in this slight rain condition, but nonetheless, we're still putting together quite an impressive lap. Oh man, that's got to be the scariest part of France in the wet. You take it wide open in the dry. Well, I mean, you try to take it wide open there, but you have to let off the gas at least a little bit and just try to catch the car. As Sebastian Vettel now moves to provisional pole, we move down to P7 as we slowly take this final sector. This might be where we lose a little bit of time as we are trying to hit whatever apex we possibly can, whatever the right way is to hit these apexes in the dry. I mean, we're not doing it too well because we're dropping down to P9 now. It looks like Sebastian Vettel is going to master the wet and grab pole position. Meanwhile, for us, we may have just inched ourselves into P8 for the French Grand Prix. So with everybody qualifying on intermediate tires, that means that we get free choice of tire, free choice of strategy for the entire field. So, you know, even though we qualify top 10, we're not going to be stuck to like starting on the softs or anything like that. So that should make race strategy interesting. That should make it to where everybody's probably going to do a one stop. As you see, Mazepin way off the pace. So Mazepin, come on, man. And Claire, come on with the questions.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. The weather hasn't been ideal in qualifying. What's your take on it?
You know, I'm actually happy with the weather. I think it might have actually helped us.
It's got to be a relief to qualify that far up the grid.
I suppose, I mean, it definitely is a relief when you consider, you know, with the rain, we might have qualified P22. It was really, you know, all or nothing, and thankfully we got most of it all out the pace.
There's quite a buzz around this team at the moment. What are your thoughts on them?
I don't know. Clearly I botched the answer to the last question, so we're not even going to answer that one.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Moving on. So, we now have Daniel Ricciardo as a teammate, or not as a teammate, as a rival. And we are currently dominating this rivalry against Ricciardo. I figured we would just lose this rivalry to Ricciardo, but we won in our previous race, and now We've qualified ahead of Ricardo once again. But look at the race conditions. The projected race conditions. We only got this message now after qualifying. And, you know, it's looking like it's going to be nice for most of the race. But you see there is going to be a patch of rain. So there's definitely some uncertainty as we are getting ready for the French Grand Prix. How's the weather going to be? Who knows? Let's find out.
Welcome along then to France, host of the world-famous Tour de France. But we're not talking two wheels today, we're talking four, in a country widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing back in the late 1800s. We've come a long way since then, and you're about to find out how far. It's time for the French Grand Prix. 6 lefts and 9 rights give us a total of 15 corners here at the circuit Paul Ricard, and a lap covers an overall distance of 3.6 miles. Average speeds will be somewhere in the region of 142 miles per hour, and they'll be maxing out on the Mistral Straight at around 205 miles per hour. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let me ask you about the new Racing Point driver. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and Albon, Sainz, Cook, Ricciardo and Lando Norris, Perez, Kvyat, Lance Stroll and Ocon, Grosjean, Gasly, Kevin Magnussen and Kimi Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Mazepin, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Well, well, well. We are definitely going to stick with the one stop of mediums to hards, but, you know, it all depends on when it starts raining to how the pit strategy is going to go. We could start on the hards and bank on just staying out until the rain comes through. I don't know. We're just going to start on the mediums. 5 red lights on and 5 red lights out. We are underway with the French Grand Prix. It's all sunshine right now, but things may get damp and gloomy soon, at least in the sky for our race. Who knows? As we are now on the inside of Albon, and Albon lets out completely to the point where he's lost the spot to ourselves, and Carlos Sainz, who's looking to go 2 for 1, but the McLaren slots behind us. Verstappen a little bit all over the place as Lewis Hamilton secures P4. Sainz trying to go to the inside. We covered a position off, and now we focus up ahead on Max Verstappen. A similar position we were at the start of last Grand Prix in Canada, where we early on slotted behind Verstappen, though. We're more so losing time to Verstappen this time out, and under attack from Carlos Sainz in the McLaren as we just hold it nice and steady, and I don't think Sainz is going to be able to attack us at this point of this career mode. Our engine in our Cookie Monster car is definitely better than a McLaren engine, so that's going to help us a lot as far as defending against, you know, a lot of cars, even like, you know, pretty much most of the midfield cars, even, you know, the likes of Albon and a Red Bull behind us, so you guys see the replay at the start. Nothing too crazy there. I think we gained 2 positions there. You know, we just held it around the outside. Albon, I don't know why he let off so easily, but I'm not going to complain. He can have fun in P8. Meanwhile, for us, it's P6. We've definitely lost touch with Hamilton and Verstappen and the rest of the top 5, and we're just kind of running our own race. We haven't been under attack from Carlos Sainz yet, but it's still a waiting game on when that rain is going to come. Everything is all calm right now. Everybody has started the race on the medium, so there's no split strategies. It's just, when will that rain hit? Is the rain going to hit before these mediums wear off? Is going to be, you know, a legitimate question we're going to have to ask in about 5 laps, because in 5 laps, that's going to be when the pit window opens up. As you see Carlos Sainz, this is the closest Sainz has been since the beginning of the race. Sainz is going to try to have a look on the inside, but that's going to be the outside of the next corner, and we have the inside, so we're able to cover Sainz away. You see Albon close behind, and we actually have a train of cars behind us that have just kind of been slipstreaming as Carlos Sainz doesn't want to slipstream anymore. He peeks the nose inside, and he gets past Albon trying to do the same, but Albon does not really have anywhere to go. We have the position heading to the corner, and Albon has to let off as we round the outside bravely and hang on to P7, but we do lose the position to Carlos Sainz. We are able to stay within DRS range of Sainz, and if we could stay within DRS range of the McLaren as long as we possibly can, that'll definitely help our race. We can, maybe save some battery even. Who knows, save some fuel, but it might take every bit of resources that we have to make sure we can keep up with Sainz, because it looks like Carlos is a lot faster than us. So in the dry conditions, we're definitely a bit slower than the AI than we were with the intermediate conditions. Nonetheless, though, P7, solid running position. Albon has kind of been putting the pressure on us. You see Ricardo is kind of getting close. I think Stroll's behind him, so there's a chance we can lose quite a bit of positions in the next couple of laps because we're not going any bit faster. We're not getting any faster than these guys, but the pit window is going to open up in about 3 to 5 laps, so everybody's got to pit eventually. It's just, what are we going to pit on? Are we going to be pitting on? It looks like we're going to have to go to the hards at this point, because I think the rain's not going to come until later on in the race. I keep asking Jeff the weather update. It's about 10 to 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Albon, an update on him. He tries to go around the outside of us, and that's going to backfire on him because now he's under siege from Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault. The former Red Bull driver, Daniel Ricciardo, is going to go strong on the outside. Now he's got the inside. Albon this time doesn't let off like he did on the opening lap when he was side by side with us. Albon's trying to contest this position for all it's worth, but look at Ricardo still sticking it, still side by side with the Red Bull, and Ricardo now peeks ahead, and Ricardo is ahead. Daniel Ricciardo moves up in the running order. All that side by side running has now cost Ricardo and Albon about 2 seconds. Remember, Albon was literally just trying to pass us. Now we just have some breathing space because myself and Sainz haven't exactly, Sainz hasn't pulled away from us, but we're just kind of running where we are, running our own pace. And now Perez has actually moved up to P8, so he's overtaken Albon and Ricardo. So there's some madness going on behind me. Thankfully, we're not too worried about that. But look at the sky. Remember that nice and sunny start we had? It's going away quickly. It is cloudy. It is overcast, and it's looking kind of scary right now. It's looking like we might have a thunderstorm at any given moment, but the pit window is officially open for everybody on the mediums, which is everybody in this race, to pit now and take hards to the end. But it's just a matter of when it's going to rain and how long it's going to rain. Well, it's actually not a matter of when it's going to rain. It has officially started to rain. You saw a bit of drizzle coming from the sky. Yeah, it's raining now. But, if it doesn't rain too heavily for too long, then it doesn't make sense for us to put intermediate tires on. We could just put on the hards, suffer a bit, but the time lost making a pit stop might be too much. As you see, the Alfa Romeo of Giovinazzi is off the pace. He's out the race. Giovinazzi's car is breaking down to the side, and whoa, we have a safety car. We have a safety car for Giovinazzi breaking down, and we have a split decision to make, and we are coming into the pits. We are coming into the pits along with the rest of the leaders, and we are boxing for the hard tires. It is clearly raining, but no inters. No inters for ourselves. No inters for anybody else in the pit lane. Everybody that is coming down into the pits this lap, everybody's putting on the hard tires. As you see, our mechanics ready, so they're going to put it on and off. And you notice a lot of cars did stay out, so we're actually going to come out in what looks like P13. And not all the front runners came in. I believe, half the field came in as if it would be, some of those guys, some of the front runners literally pit, I believe, before the safety car even came out. They were already committed to coming into the pit lanes. So, whoa, the safety car is chilling there. Okay, safety car, you want to get a move on it? Like, what are we doing? So, I'm trying to get a weather update on how long this rain is going to last. So, if the rain is going to last 10 to 15 minutes, there's a good chance a lot of this 10 to 15 minutes of rain is going to happen under the safety car, to where the hards might just last us through the safety car. It's just very confusing right now. It's very, very confusing. I'm starting to wonder, if we should try to box for inters under the safety car. None of the AI cars have boxed for inters yet so far, so I mean, and Jeff is saying dry seemed like the fastest compound right now, so we're just going to stick with it. We're going to get one more update before we go into the pits, and 10 minutes of rain, dry tires are the best tire. Okay, okay. But the rain has definitely gotten noticeably heavier. So we checked the race director to see a lot of the front runners have not pit yet in this race. So, you know, we have essentially made what should be our last pit stop of the race, but that's considering that we don't box for inters pretty soon. And I think we might have to box for inters pretty soon. So you see Mazepin is actually behind us in P14. But this race might get shaken up a little bit more because, yeah, dries, inters, Jeff doesn't know at this point, and actually Jeff has made up his mind. Through all the confusion, we finally have some clarity. Intermediate tires it is. We will be boxing for inters, but if the safety car is coming in this lap, I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what to make of this. So for now, one, Kvyat has been disqualified from the race. Two, the safety car is not coming in this lap. And three, we are boxing for inters. It's going to be a very crowded pit lane. Ferrari is double stacking. I don't know how many other teams are double stacking. Our team is not one of them because Mazepin has not come into the pits. You see Leclerc's already, you know, finished his pit stop. He comes out behind us, as you see a lot of cars passing by. A 3.1 second pit stop, and it's going to be that much longer in the pit lane because we get held up by not one, not two, but three different cars, and we now come out of the pits in 18th place. 18 out of 20 runners. Because remember, Kvyat has been DQ'd from the race, and Giovinazzi is the reason why the safety car is out, because he broke down. The only cars behind us are Raikkonen, and remember, Sebastian Vettel, who is a part of that double stack at Ferrari. That has cost Vettel a lot of time. So this running order has been completely shaken up. We are now behind Nicholas Latifi, but remember, about half the field did not pit. So half the field is on dry compound tires, half the field is on inters. There's still some people that have not made their pit stop yet. There's still some people that, you know, have made the pit stop. We're going to check on the race director to try to get some clarity on that. So it looks like the top 8 runners have not boxed yet, and George Russell is the first car on inters, and George Russell is about to assume the lead of the French Grand Prix because everybody that did not box the last lap, they're in this time around, and we're about to go green in France. What is going on in this race? You see, our teammates in, a Red Bull is in, I believe a Mercedes is in. I think that's Lewis Hamilton in the pits, and now all of a sudden we move up the running order to P10, back under green, still behind the likes of Stroll and Latifi, but it's a little bit better than what it was looking after we made the pit stop under safety car, the first one when we were P13. It's way better than the P18 out of 20 we were after we made our pit stop for the inters. It's still not as good as we were looking before all the rain hit, because remember, before the rain hit, I believe we were P8 behind Carlos Sainz. So the running order has been completely flipped upside down to the point where George Russell is the freaking leader of this race in a Williams. I don't know if George Russell still has the lead at this point, because you got to assume that Williams is just a boat out there. I'm not just saying, saying that because it's raining. In fact, the rain is helping that boat, if anything, I suppose. Actually, it looks like George Russell has been overtaken on the mini-map. I believe that's the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc that has assumed the lead of this race. So, yeah, we got fast cars that are way behind us. We're in a pack of 12 cars, but, way behind us are the cars that pit when the safety car came in. So you see Lewis Hamilton's all by himself. I believe that might be Max Verstappen all by himself. So yeah, trying to grab the true running order of this race in my mind. I think this is it. We're just in P10. So, we're in a points position. That's the good news. The bad news is we have a pretty pissed off Sebastian Vettel behind us, as well as Kimi Raikkonen. We have Latifi ahead of us, and even though we are faster than Latifi, I haven't exactly found out how to get by him in the rain. Oh, but Sebastian Vettel is about to find out how to get by us. He's bursting on the outside, but he's not going to hold it. If he did, he actually would have had the inside for this corner, but we're able to outbrake Vettel and temporarily get away from the Ferrari. I'd like to make the overtake on Latifi and then worry about Sebastian Vettel. But we got to get this job done quick because Seb's getting impatient and eventually he will get by. So it's pretty much now or never. But we, without DRS, haven't exactly been able to get too close to the Williams and Latifi, the slowest car on the grid. But hopefully now is our time because... Oh, man, we nearly lost the back end there. I remember in qualifying, we talked about how treacherous those conditions were in the rain. Oh, we are just all over the back of Latifi. If I reached my hand out, I might have been able to grab his rear diffuser. And thankfully, we do get the job done on Latifi. We are now in P9, and hopefully we can run down this next pack ahead that is currently being held up by George Russell. So... you see they are scrapping big time ahead of us. It looks like Ocon in the Renault has gotten past that. But, you know, you got K-Mag in there. You got Stroll in there. It looks like one more car is in that absolute scrap. The McLaren car, Lando Norris has gotten away. As you see, 3 wide ahead of us. Oh, my. This better sort out because we are about to catch this pack. And we're bringing the Ferrari of Vettel with us. As you see, oh, we are just creeping right now. I'd love to make a bold lunge on one of these cars, but in the wet conditions, we just have to be smart and just chill out, I guess, and try to wait for the right time to make a move. Hopefully, it's soon on Russell at least, but unfortunately, okay, maybe it is soon on George Russell because he has dived into the pits. Update on the weather conditions, by the way, with all of that calamity happening in front of us. It stopped raining. I completely lost track of the weather because I was focusing on the huge battle ahead of us. It has stopped raining, and George Russell might have once again made a completely spot-on strategy call because look at that. DRS is enabled. That means the track is dry. Whenever DRS is enabled by the stewards, that is a clear red flag of you are on intermediate tires to get off the inters. And look at how much we are struggling. We cannot even hold that corner wide open. As you see, Sebastian Vettel finally gets by us, but man, oh man. Once again, we get the same strategy report we got last time. It says lap 21 to pit. That was last lap. So, I mean, hopefully they got soft tires ready for us because we are coming in right here, right now. You see, Lewis Hamilton is behind us. So, that's interesting that Lewis has caught up to us. Remember, Lewis was way behind after he made that pit stop coming into the lap coming to green when the safety car came in. So, yeah. A lot of cars are in the pit lane, but remember, George Russell, he pit last time out, so we'll see how much of an undercut Russell got as we are double stacking here at the Cookie Monster pit lane. We just get a lane to get out. Thankfully, we didn't get held up in the pits this time around. That blue dot, that light blue dot is George Russell. He has flown past us officially. We were right behind Russell the previous lap. Now, we are not only behind Russell by maybe 3 seconds, we are... actually, it's more than that, maybe like 5 seconds behind George Russell. We have a couple of cars ahead of us, including Alexander Albon, who is still on the inters. At this point, the inters are awful. Look how much he is holding up Ocon. Look how much he is holding up Stroll. And look at what he's doing to us. We have Valtteri Bottas trying to put us under attack. Meanwhile, everybody's trying to soar this moving chicane that is Alexander Albon. Oh my, how is this going to work out? Now that we're under dry conditions, we could be a bit more aggressive, a lot more aggressive. That's Ocon locking up. That's ourselves overtaking not 1, not 2, but 3 cars at once. On board, replay here with Ocon as he locked up. We're going to go on board with the racing point of Lance Stroll to see how he fared in all of this. The AIs were being a little bit indecisive of how they were going to handle this corner. I decided I was going to just go late on the brakes and, you know, whatever happened, happened. And it worked out for us, thankfully. So we are now in P4 as we update the running position. We are now in 4th place in this race. Ahead of us, George Russell and Lando Norris. Way off in the distance is Charles Leclerc. Leclerc has played the strategy game well and looks like he's going to win this race. Lando Norris is on pace for his first career podium. And George Russell in the Williams is P3 with 2.5 laps to go. But Russell is going to be under fire sooner rather than later. Here comes the Cookie Monster. Here comes the Renault of Ocon and Stroll. And it looks like even Sergio Perez, Stroll's teammate, is in this battle pack that's about to form behind Russell. We're going to need to find a way to get past George Russell as soon as possible, which is something we could not do in the wet. Hopefully something we can do in the dry, something we need to do, because if we can get past Russell, we can put ourselves in somehow, some way, a podium position, but at the same time we have to get it done quickly because Ocon, Stroll, and Perez all seem to have a good amount of pace, and so, oh man, Russell is trying as hard as he possibly can, but he is costing us time right now. If we get past Russell, there's no chance we get past Norris, so once we get past Russell, hopefully, that's our race, and then it's all about defending. But first things first, how do we get past Russell? The good news, DRS is back on, so we're going to use Slipstream, we're going to use Rich Fuel Mixture, overtake, DRS, everything we possibly can to try to make a run on the Williams down this straightaway with a lap and a half to go in the French Grand Prix, inside, outside, deep on the brakes, and we leave the space, but it doesn't matter. We have cleared the Williams of Russell, put the Cookie Monsters in P3. Leclerc 22 seconds up the road. The young Lando Norris, 7 seconds up the road. The young Brit looking for his first career podium. And the young Frenchman, Esteban Ocon, in his home Grand Prix. Is he sniffing his first career podium in Formula 1? He's going to try to give it a go. He's overtaken the Williams of Russell. His podium chances can be waved goodbye, but nonetheless, Russell is on pace for his best career finish in Formula 1. The youth movement is strong with this top 5 running order right now. As you see, Ocon is very, very close. He's going to have DRS, and there's absolutely nothing we can do on the final lap of the race, losing a podium position to Esteban Ocon. We can't even go deep on the brakes there. Oh man, we're gonna have to try to get a good exit here and maybe make a run down this final long straightaway. Otherwise, our dreams of a podium may be kissed goodbye. Maybe not yet though, because we are catching Ocon. We're going to the inside of Esteban Ocon, and we're side by side with the Renault. And hold your breath, we have the inside, we have the acceleration, and we overtake Esteban Ocon. Leclerc has officially won a wild French Grand Prix. Lando Norris is free to run in P2. The final podium position is still up for debate. Ocon going in late. Ocon is desperate. He can sniff the podium in his home Grand Prix, but he's not going to get it. Just out of reach because the Cookie Monster is going to get away. We will be claiming P3 in France.
Top job,
Whew.
friend, top job.
Whew.
A bit worried about this one
Okay.
at the weekend, but you
Okay. What a race! That was insane! The amount of different plot twists in that one. You could not write a script. George Russell rightfully getting driver of the day for what he and Williams have done in these conditions with the worst car on the grid. For ourselves, it's our second consecutive podium after winning Canada. We improbably find our way on the podium once again. We are joined by Lando Norris up here. Wow, there was no way we would have gotten on the podium in a dry race. But with interchangeable conditions, interchangeable results. Vettel P9, Hamilton P12, Verstappen 11th, Bottas finishing behind Russell. George Russell beats both the Mercedes. Oh my, Albon finished 20th. That gamble staying on the Inters definitely was not a good one, so yeah, Ricardo P15, Sainz P14. It's a topsy-turvy finish to this one. You see the way the constructors are looking. We are currently P5 somehow in the constructors. Driver standings, best of the rest. Whew. Claire. We're going to have a good, long conversation about this crazy race.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
We didn't have a strategy. I thought our strategy was screwed during that safety car. I thought we completely botched the strategy, so I don't know.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
I mean, yeah, they should be, right? Like, it is my team. They should be happy. We're doing well. Next question.
Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today?
I think so. I don't know. The rain helped us get a better finishing position, so I'm not going to say, no, I hate the rain, because the rain definitely made things interesting.
Appreciate your time.
It must be said that today's result feels as rewarding as winning the race. We upped the difficulty from 101 to 102. We gave ourselves more of a challenge. We got challenged by the conditions. We got challenged by the strategy. Like I said, I thought we botched the strategy. I'm pretty sure we did botch the strategy. Just the AI messed it up even worse. And at least we were driver number 1 at our own team, so we were able to control our own destiny, unlike some guys like Sebastian Vettel and a bunch of people who could not make pit stops when they wanted to. So, you know, once again, the good fortune of the Cookie Monster shines once more. So, yeah, the luckiest first half of a season that you can possibly have is continuing on, and we'll see if we can carry that momentum into Austria, because I'm actually pretty confident that we could get a decent result in Austria. But another podium, probably not. But we're gonna sign the same secondary sponsor we had for the first half of the season, because all we gotta do is answer 2 interview questions. That's easy. You see, we have $6.67 million. We are saving up money to hopefully get ourselves a pretty solid number 2 driver to our team. The next race is going to be the last race for Nikita Mazepin. As you see, our aero upgrade that failed earlier, our power upgrade that failed earlier, they're both in the car now, which is nice, because look how good this Cookie Monster is looking as we head to Austria. You know, the Tracing Point has separated itself from the rest of the best of the rest pack, but otherwise, the Cookie Monster is legitimately almost best of the rest there with McLaren and both the Alpha cars, AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo, and Renault was way down the order somehow. So, leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed that. I mean, you had to enjoy that crazy race. Subscribe for more F1 2020 My Team videos. And I will catch you guys next time. Thank you, as always, for watching.